art space, and today's video is about ice cream chocolates. I'm pretty sure one or two. Let me see what I can do. I just captured that image in my head and then decided to do it on Nomad Sculpt. So what I'm going to be doing now is actually modeling a new ice cream, the stick and everything, like I just clarified, and the result would definitely be different. So let me go open a new scene. So as you can see, I'm gonna set up my autosave to 2 minutes. Just click this button to make it do it automatically without obstructing your process. So the first thing that I do is to go to I need to change the orientation of my screen. So, and I'm using an iOS device. Keep that in mind. Yes, finally switched. Then I go to the scene hierarchy here. Delete the sphere. Go to the scene. And then I'm looking to, the hierarchy, this in the same hierarchy view. Let's create a new box. See, chocolate cream. Dun, dun. So just and then I would clone that. Once you click clone and then you move this stick, can be focused sometimes, and then you move it with the arrow, it actually copies it. So what I want to do is to click this round shape, this circle shape in front of the blue arrow to reduce the size. What I'm doing now is representing the stick, and I'm using the circular shapes so that both sides are being scaled along the same axis rather. Let me show you an example of doing otherwise. You can control the size this way, but then it anchors one of the points and increases the other. See, but then that means the center moves away. But what we really want is for this to share the same y-axis center as the cream area. So what I'm gonna do quickly is to scale it down and drag to the right proportions real quick. So at some point I might get distracted and stop talking. Keep it in mind that it's a bit tricky to keep talking and also do this modeling, because I'm also thinking about what I need to do, and obviously I'm trying to improve with my eloquence and how deliberate I am with my words, but that would take time since I've not had to. You know what? Enough with excuses. You guys would see improvement over time. I think this is just about right. So I learned a few things from the last time I made this. so it might be a bit faster than the last time I did it, since I didn't now that my feet are wet, let's dive in. So first tool I use is the flatten. And then I also need to cross check if the mirror is on. Okay, that's not okay. One thing you can do is to control the axis for mirroring, and then it's an x-axis, but we need the z-axis. We need it to be on the z-axis. Let's cross check if it's centered. This is why we needed to make sure that everything, including the wooden part and the cream, is centered, so that we won't have to reshape or move the mirror center. You're in this case controlling the center of the axis rather, that you are moving, that you are mirroring along rather. So let me show you. If I were to move this here and then I sculpted, you wouldn't see differences. But if I move it, if I return it to the center and then I sculpted, you see that? If I rotated this and then I sculpted here, do you understand? As you can see, so we're good to go. So let's go and hide that, and then just click here, see, reduce this and reduce the intensity. So what I do first is to do the intensity again. Yep, I made a mistake the first time too. So the next thing is to smoothen it out and get rid of the boxes. Actually, let me see what happens if I use the flattened brush on the edges before smoothing it. Okay, and then smoothen it. I don't want the area closer to the wood to be as smooth as the other part. So I guess we're off to a good start. Here, if you remember, I didn't add, so validate this quick. I didn't add the curvy part. Now this will be an experiment. Okay, so move it along the y-axis. Axis. So to make sure that it's actually 90 degrees. 90. Okay, click transform to get rid of the gizmo arrows. Make sure that it's the same. Move the anchors to make sure that the same the center moves along with it, as I made it clear the last. So then we move it down a bit. We move it down. And then we just take it away. What I'm going to do is to merge both of them. So let me do some naming quick. Cross check. Wood. Okay, the hierarchy part of Nomad Sculpt does need some work, but can always make do with what we have. So merge. Looks like the resolution was not high enough. Turn on. Okay, so this needs to be higher. And then we run it again. Yep. Trying to sculpt this kind of detail would be terrible. Be a terrible idea. With that aside, we're good. So I'll just quickly do some quick remesh. Let's see what the best resolution is. As a side note, I really don't like using this particular remesh. I use this remesh here, voxel remesh, decimation rather. Keep as much detail to the next and fire. And cross check external artifacts. Okay, let me try the other method. What I'm doing now is taking it back in the history. I want to try another method. This is it here. So Uniform faces. Let's see what that means. Consequences of using that. I forgot. Let me take it to 0 and see what's up. Sheesh. Tehehe. What? This even turned out to be worse. $56,000 triangles is too much, so I need to find a way to reduce this somehow. You know what? Take it back. This might take more time than I expected, so I'm just gonna skip this. Actually, let me take it back to. Yep. So, go back to the ice cream. And then we're going to paint the top. And then we make it drip. This is completely new. I'm not copying anything anyway. And this is my mobile phone. So, the method that I use to make. So this time I'm just going to use what I learned from that to make a better and more reasonable model. The mask. So. Click. Turn off the symmetry at the left here under the intensity. This is intensity, and this is the symmetry button beside the yellow circle. Look at it. Follow the yellow circle here. This is the yellow circle. This is the symmetry button. Turn it off. It goes off. Turn it on. You can see it. Also, clicking on a model does nothing until you drag. So, I want a slant here. Slant it is. So, we might actually need that symmetry, but not. Yes, but not. It's not what you think. Try and center that. So, just gonna update the axis that I want. Yes. So when I click, it updates on the other side. Now I can properly turn off the gizmo. Alright, so do the slant. As a test, let's cross check. You see, without the symmetry, I would have had to repaint it rather on the other side. As you can see, the mask is pixelating, but let's blur that. Blur it again. then sharpen. Okay. All right, it's time to extract, but with extracting you need to experiment with the right thickness. Excuse the background noise. Okay, the background smoothness is too much, so let's take it down and do it again. No, the border smoothness rather, so let's increase the thickness. Try again. Okay, let's even take it way back. Okay. Just as a quick test, it's a separate object with internal mesh. Now let's try that again. Okay, I'm going to try and use my earpiece to prevent background noise. So shelf thickness should be sharpen. Ma? Oh, that's great. Yeah. Can you imagine? I got so excited. What I want to do now is to come on, kill myself. This might be better. Yes. Let's see. Let's cross check. Okay. Now let's apply the mask and cross check the edges. Good. Make it uneven. Sharpen. Okay. Now extract. This is too thick. The last time I also had to do some experimentation if I could really get something that was reasonable. Yeah, this is, never mind. Extract. Cross check if I saved the chocolate material. Yep. Did I also save the cream material? I think it was from this. It's too yellow, so I didn't save it. And the brown. That was why I wasn't using the earpiece originally. I was charging. Alright, let me cross check the whole thing. It seems we're on a good track. So, what to do? Okay, the same resolution pretty much. With one level of subdivision apparently. Let's see. Just one level of subdivision. However, this doesn't. When it has thicker lines like this and then lighter lines in between, that's a subdivision level. And the chocolate doesn't. But once I click, you see that. Alright, let's go back. See if we can make the subdivision. Delete lower. And now you have the same thickness. So the next thing on the list is to add the drip. You rub a wet chocolate on so that they stick. I don't know what the name is, but you would understand what I'm trying to say. So let me add a cylinder. Excuse me, Ma.